Hi guys, my name is Franco Tenelli and this is Science of Singing. Today's video is about those who are lost, those who don't know what fog they belong to, or maybe don't know that they're lost and just cannot achieve the goals they planned to achieve. So, are we in catch-22? So, when are we in catch-22? Basically when psychology goes against physical nature. And psychology always wins because our mind governs our body. So if we ask the following questions that I'm going to pose, that might give you an answer to some of your questions about your own nature, the physical nature, psychological nature. So let's start with the first question. What gives us a thrill when we sing a particular sound or when we hear a particular sound? Is it the timbre, the volume? How can we explain sad statistics that most of the prodigies end up being mediocre musicians? The great example is Robertino Loretti, the child who conquered the world by his amazing voice, by his amazing Ave Maria, was on the top of the world, and suddenly after puberty becomes a mediocre baritone. Sorry Robertino, you're still alive, so no personal feelings here. In Robertino Loretti's case, maybe, I'm just guessing, it was the reason was that he was not able to recognize the new conditions, the new voice. Or maybe the new voice didn't thrill him as much as when he was a boy singing with a different discount voice. The new voice didn't thrill him, and that was the reason why he never really became at least a good singer. I repeat, a good singer. Let's ask a profound question. Why do we sing? And try to discover the truth. So let's start with the question. Do we sing because it gives us thrill? Not psychological, but real one. Actual thrill. Or you sing because you have a voice and you think that the type of career is good for you and that's what you wish. Question 3. Or you sing because your mama told you to have voice lessons to fulfill her own unfulfilled past desires. To be a singer, to an opera singer. So parents often do that. I wanted always to be a musician, but I never had a chance. So I want my son to be a musician. I want my son to be a singer. This is part of the family indoctrination. Or you sing because through singing you communicate and interact with people and nature that gives profound feeling of unity, self-understanding. These were the 4 questions that you might think about. And you have to be very open about it. There could be everything. I mean, it's nothing wrong if my mom told me, I want you to become an opera singer. I was not thrilled about it at the beginning, but then when I started doing it, I really liked it. And I said, thank mom, you found something for me. These type of things happen too. So don't blame your mom all the time. But as a regular situation, I'm not talking about the good outcome of what, but when mom wants you to become somebody and you resist and you don't really want it, and that resistance occurs subconsciously throughout your life. You see, different people go to different professions for different reasons. Sometimes it's an accident, sometimes it's a thought-through action. Sometimes something is that you involve slowly. Sometimes the motivation behind is very simple, if not primitive. Let's say I know some opera singers that like opera. They like the sensation of a big voice, dominance, and stage and character costumes. And that's all they like, because they don't like to act, they don't like to interact really. They stand like mummies and sing well with a good technique. That's one type of a singer, let's say. Or like Russian bass actor Shalyapin, who studied all the characters he sang, thoroughly. It could be different reasons for that, right? So let's take a very real situation. Let's say I am a bass baritone in physical nature, and but I want to be a tenor, or vice versa. This is not the case when your voice was misplaced, let's say, by your teacher, but it's clearly your mind wanting something that is not in your physical nature. So what's going to happen to you if you're stubborn enough with that? If you don't go and research thoroughly who you are physically and in your mind and psychologically. Scenario number one, what's going to happen to you? You're going to be a tenor with a short range, or you're going to be a bass with no low notes, something like this. Second, you will not last professionally. That means that you might do something extraordinary and become a tenor for a few years, but your physical nature will collapse. It will not let you sing and abuse your voice for more than 5 years. And if you last 5 years, then you probably have a vocal cords of steel. And the third scenario, which is the glory of mind, it happens very rarely because that is what is called a genius event. You're going to find out your unique technique that fulfills your dreams. So you have to find out it yourself. And I'm not saying it's going to work, but what I'm saying is that when your mind becomes super intelligent and wants to do something, I don't see that it is impossible for the mind to do something. This singer who found out his own technique, like was Enrico Caruso or Franco Tenelli, these people were searching because the traditional technique did not give them all the answers. Denying your physical nature of voice would be called an ignorance. But denying a psychological nature is even more dangerous. Are we in catch-22 and depend on accidents of nature? When the nature just brings us this together, you know? We don't have to discover much. Our spoken voice is very clearly the basso baritono. The resonance is natural, and oh, I love basso voices, and so on. And that accident clicks, and the teacher clicks again. The teacher who, oh yes, you're basso, and he basso himself. Those are accidents, right? And that accidents might happen. Are we going to depend on all these accidents, or are we going to find out ourselves who we are? For that, you of course require certain conditions and certain willpower. Is it possible to really find out the true nature, harmonious nature, that is psychological and physical, put it together? I keep this question open for you to answer. I welcome your comments, and thank you very much. Until next time.